you like us where we're talking about where it's like
Are you a big
after a
liar?
show you're like, I'm nervous. No, I mean, I act real confident all the time, but I'm a sad little crying girl. So, I mean, I'm not saying you're a sad crying boy. I'm just saying,
Yeah, I
you know.
cry a lot. But
I feel you.
I always have things to work on. I'm very hard on myself. Which is interesting because I've had shows where I've had like a good show, literally a good show, bad show, good show, bad show. That's actually happened. It's interesting. My last bad show that I felt was at the new movement for the MegaFest thing, which was like the last show during the Megaphone marathons, and I felt like my performance was so bad I could not get out the theater quick enough. I was like, oh gosh, like I don't know if I can show my face around the theater again.
No.
Yeah.
Man.
Oh yeah, I felt that way. But luckily, which is interesting. My troupe is actually going to be performing at the new movement September the 3rd at 7 p.m. for Out of Bounds. So
Which troupe?
Sugarwater Purple.
Oh, okay.
The Sugarwater Purple's actually we had some fantastic shows there. I know we're going to be kicking butt.
Yeah.
But yeah, I still go through confidence issues. I go through it even after, which is an interesting thing. People probably thinking, okay, you graduated from all 5 theaters. You got it all. You're amazing. And I'm like, no, I'm not. I mean, I'm still learning. I'm still kind of going through my hurdles and everything. I see people that have graduated just from one theater. I'm like, crap, you're so good. I wish I could be you. But everybody has a different journey.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Plus, there's different ups and downs. I mean, like, when you first graduate from a school, you're high off of that, vibe that you've got. You're, like, into it. You want to, like, play by all their rules. And then it must be nice to go on to another theater because after a little bit, you're like, okay, how do I break every rule that they just taught me because I can't do it anymore? And, so to go to another place and they're like, oh, they told you that? Nah, forget it. Do it this way. Must be fun.
I have an advice for people is if they're ever going to take different theaters or just they're crazy enough to do the Mitch. Here's my advice. Try not to take no more than one theater at a time.
Oh, yeah.
And if you're crazy enough to do that, like me and James, try to take theaters that are kind of similar. For example, Merlin-works, Hideout, Cold Town, New Movement.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're gonna be kind of like going through different teachings. And,
Oh yeah.
Yeah. That's my advice personally. But obviously,
no, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in any other city, I'm sure that have other theaters to find the ones that sort of have a similar teaching where it's like, well, a lot of their stuff is long form based on game. A lot of their stuff is narrative. Those kinds of details would be important if you're going to take many classes at lots of different places to keep your brain from exploding.
Exactly. Yeah.
I've even had mine explode at the same theater where it's just like the one week you're like, oh, we're definitely going to do this comedic style movement, and the next week's like, no, serious actors now. Only real emotions.
Holy crap,
like, we just spent weeks doing this thing, man. How? It's like, it's not necessarily building, it's just 180,
Whenever I teach at the New Movement, when I teach a level 1 into a level 2, if I teach the same group and like I finish with them level 1 and then the next week they come back and it's level 2, in the first class of level 2 I go, all right, remember everything I told you? Okay, those rules are like vague suggestions. You don't have to do any of that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
And they're like, what? And they're like, that's all I know. And
I
was
cared
like,
really hard about all
great.
this.
And you should like those, but they're not the rules for real.
But Amy, I got it tattooed on my arm.
Yeah, right. But you said this was the only rule I had to live by.
Get rid of it.
I'm really sorry. Get a tattoo over it.
Oh, no.
I needle pointed a pillow on it. No,
How long would that take?
Needle pointing a pillow is so much lower stakes though than tattooing it on your body.
but it takes a long time.
It takes
right?
way too long to do.
That's the thing.
For a
It's like,
tattoo,
I
you
learned
pay some guy
needlepoint.
to
You don't think
do.
you could needle point in 8 weeks? It's an 8
I mean,
week course.
but like a tattoo takes an hour,
Yeah, but it takes like 6 years to
and
remove.
I can be passed out while someone does it.
They don't like that. They're
They
very
don't
against
like
it.
it,
They're not into
But
it.
it happens.
Speaking of tattoos, I would love everyone to answer this question, but first I'll start with you. Do you have a tattoo, Chris?
I have none. I'm
No
bare.
tattoos. Oh, interesting. Okay.
I definitely have one.
I have none.
Oh.
You are also bare?
Hey.
You have no tattoos?
No tattoos.
Huh.
I don't believe in anything long enough to have a tattoo of it.
It's
I'm the same way.
because I imagine that somewhere in your body that I hadn't seen, there was just a lot of tattoos.
I use a lot of Sharpie markers for entertainment purposes, but that's it. Nothing.
Okay,
See, my theory was that you had gotten like a chin tattoo, and then you like second guessed it. Now that's why the hair's on the other side.
No, yeah, no. But
Oh.
when I was in college, when I got into UT from the community college, I hadn't gone back home in a long time, and so I came home and I was doing marketing stuff for the TV station. We ended up getting like these fake tattoos, and so I just put huge tattoos on my neck and went home, and my parents were asleep. So my dad came in the morning to like wake me up, and he came in immediately, didn't wake me up, went and got my mom, and was apparently just like, did he get fucking tattoos on his neck? I was like, no! And they were like medical symbols too, like the serpent around the staff. Like, why would I get? What?
You're in a medical gang.
Yeah, we know you too.
Look at him there just sleeping with those tattoos.
I can't believe he can sleep knowing he has all that ink on his neck.
No.
You know that ink talks about doctors? God damn it.
Nobody in my family has tattoos. My mother, my father, my two brothers, none of them.
Huh.
My niece, she's 8. She just got one though. So I guess I'm kidding.
Oh.
I'm kidding.
I was like, is that a Japan thing? Tell me about it. They're like, this is crazy thing. Young girls in
It's
Japan.
so weird.
Tattoos everywhere.
Yeah, me and my older brother were the only ones to get tattoos, and none of them matter. Like none of them.
Perfect.
In both cases, none of them are like of super import. Like,
Yeah.
He like I just kind of followed his example because like he would just kind of I think everyone was like a drunken sort of like, I like this thing, put it on me. Like started off with a Superman symbol and then Die Hard on top of that, and then one time he came back with a woodpecker holding a flaming crowbar.
I got a question on
There's
that one.
there's zero, and that was the thing is, I was like, so I bet there's like this is some deeper meaning.
Right.
He was like, I'd like to think so. Like he just came out of the other side of a weekend with this, and he's just like, and he just kind of George W. Bushed it. He just was like, yep, that was the thing I wanted.
I love that it was a woodpecker, not like it wasn't Woody the Woodpecker.
It wasn't.
It was
an
just
angry
some woodpecker.
It
That's trademark. We couldn't do Woody the Woodpecker.
It was like an Audubon Society picture. It was not like a cartoon. It was like an actual legit from a book about birds.
yeah, like a nature sort of like Darwin.
We saw
sketch.
this one over the weekend. It was a brilliant weekend we had out at the bed and breakfast. And we saw this little guy on a tree, so I got him tattooed on my arm.
The thing that always messed with me.
I like how you become an NPR.
Sorry,
guy.
I'm trying to think here, Amy. I'm trying to.
I just don't know why the crowbar was on fire. That was my biggest question.
Was
Crowbar.
it on fire, or did it have something on it that was on fire?
No, literally the only thing on it was just a crowbar with flames coming off the top of it.
So the woodpecker was like forging a crowbar, possibly.
Like, just a crowbar on fire is just not a thing in any story ever.
Yeah,
like,
that's
not a
like, did it
reference
get something
to
on
something.
it? Did it hit something that was on fire? But then
Like if it
got on
was
fire?
a bastard sword, I get that. That's happened and stuff.
A
Flaming
apparently.
crowbar, just in and of itself. Like the woodpecker, I would have just been like, yeah, okay, shit happens.
This is your brother, not you. You don't have
Right,
this on
no,
your body
no,
that I can
no.
look at. Okay,
no,
Just checking.
Amy,
No, I want to. If you
I want to look at this picture.
If
that's
he
on
had
your
a
body, right?
woodpecker with a flaming crowbar on him, I'd make him take his jacket off right now.
Yeah, no.
See, that's
My-
also another great reason not to have tattoos, because if you talk about them, people demand that you see them.
Oh, that's hilarious. That's actually, I'm sorry, gonna do it. I got my one and only tattoo between my breasts and it helped me get laid for years. It was great. It was perfect.
Yeah, to just be like, here it
Yeah,
is.
they'd be
Okay.
like, so you know I have a tattoo. Where's your tattoo? Between your breasts? Yep, everyone wants to see him now.
Yeah,
Woo!
dude. All right, we're here. We're like already
No
here.
problem, no
Yeah.
problem.
That's
Gonna
also a
happen.
trend now, right?
To have tattoos on your boobs?
Right,
What?
they're
I mean, everyone
right
does
under.
them.
They're like
under, yeah.
titty chandeliers, right? Is what they're calling them.
Yeah, where there's like a whole decorative
I-
situation.
It like curves up into.
Oh, okay.
the
Kind of like
center-
Rihanna, and
like
then
it hits the base of the sternum and.
okay.
Yeah, like right
Rihanna
on
have
the
it?
edge of
Yeah,
the
she's got like
your
she's got
ribs.
like a Thunderbird kind of thing. like a Native American.
I pictured like the kids' TV show though.
I pictured the car.
A T-bird. Just.
I mean, top down, obviously.
I was like, Rihanna into old cars. Weird. Okay.
We call them antiques.
Sorry.
Nice old car, bro.
It's like kind of rusty and beat up. Like,
It's the only old car I've ever owned. Yeah.
Oh my god, it's on cinder blocks.
As long as you put it there, it's fine.
I'd be like, I like it that way.
It's like
what does my car need to go somewhere?
In it? I don't know.
It just reminds me of Clifford.
The big red dog?
Or Heathcliff, sorry. Heathcliff.
He had a T-bird? Did he live in a T-bird?
No, they lived in like it was like they had a convertible on top of a trash mound, didn't they?
Yeah. No.
I
have
like,
no
went
recollection.
down, right? Was it like some... I think it was
so.
like a subterranean headquarters there.
I've got like weird memories of these things because it was just like childhood, come to Virginia, watch all the cartoons I could, and then go back to overseas. So it's like I have it's like that and Ghostbusters, and then the real Ghostbusters. Those are like the things that my brain latches on.
Patrick's Crazy American Summers.
Yeah. And then I get tapes of The Simpsons.
Which, fuck the Ghostbusters, the cartoon, is what I was just going to say. Not the real Ghostbusters. Wait, the real Ghostbusters was the Hanna-Barbera one, right? Or
so the one that was called Ghostbusters is from the original copyright owners of Ghostbusters.
The one with the ape and...
Yes, which was based on a TV show.
It was like Scooby-Doo.
That the Ghostbuster movie had to license the name from... And then when they agreed to do the cartoon, they had to use the real Ghostbusters because the Ghostbusters people that had originally owned it decided they wanted to make a cartoon.
Oh my god. You know what's fun? Laws.
Also, why do I know all this about the real Ghostbusters?
Cartoon laws.
Because when you get older, you start knowing things about the things that you like that are ridiculous like that. Like, whenever I talk... And I have no example right now to, like, legitimately tell you, but, like, it'll be like, oh, you know how in Breaking Bad, did you know that in the 4th episode it was because this thing broke and that's why they made the decision to, oh, I hate myself for knowing this information. But I like the show.
Yeah.
And then I find myself saying it out loud and I'm all like, oh, I'm going to murder me. Like, this is horrible.
That's why they created Trivia Night, right? So that we can feel better about ourselves. It becomes useful information at that point.
Sure. I used to host a Trivia Night when I first moved to town. And the people that go to Trivia Nights are the worst people in the world.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, everyone who is our audience.
Yeah.
But like, I would go there and they would get terrible because they would... Number one, they'd get all mad when they didn't get stuff right, and I'd be like, I didn't invent it. It's just what the answers are. I didn't write the questions. I'm just an employee of a company who gets handed a book that says, read these off, and then that's the answer, right? That's it. And then everyone's getting drunker and drunker, right? Which I suppose would have been fine if I also was getting drunker and drunker, which later I realized... That's what lots of hosts of
is that
right?
Was that not allowed or like?
No, I just I just don't.
Yeah.
Yes, and also I'm just not a drinker. Yeah. So it's like I was working at a bar. They'd be like, "Do you want a beer?" I'd be like, I gotta talk for 3 hours, so no. Could have a water because legitimately, I mean, think about it. You have to talk, and then it's a bar. Also. I won't say the bar where it was at, but let's just say the bar staff during those events hate you because you're drawing all of the attention to you and not to them buying stuff. So unless there's like a waitress service who like comes through and helps them, because if there's servers going around, they'll make tons of money because they're sitting and they'll go, give me another beer, sure. But in the case where there's not, they don't get up because they're like deeply involved in this like question, and if they get up, they could be that one person who knew that answer, and I mean, I've seen that go wrong. I've seen one guy get up to get drinks, and then his expertise happens in the question, and they're all like, "Where's Trevor? Where's Trevor? He knows everything about this show.
He knows the Thundercats from 1987 to 1988 only."
Why is that asshole buying all of us drinks right now?
And you're not allowed to use your phones, right? Because that's cheating. So if you were to call Trevor, that would be the word. No. Trevor, get back here! Everyone would be like, "Get out of here with the phones, man."
Yeah.
So, well, I'm just saying, trivia is hard.
It's a hard life.
It was a weird job, I'm telling you.
So did you have to like, were you in charge of like making sure nobody had their phones out, or was it just like everybody snitching on everybody?
Yeah,
He
both.
got his phone.
Both.
Yeah.
I mean, I got good mom face, so from the front of the room, I could just see somebody on their phone and be all like,